All right, let's talk about money. I mean, we use it every single day, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about what it actually is? Why does this little piece of paper or just a number on a screen have so much power over our lives? Well, let's dig in and find out.
Seriously, think about the cash in your wallet right now. It's what? Just paper and ink? By itself, it has no real value. So how in the world does it magically transform into the food you eat, or the phone you're probably holding, or even a car? The answer is, well, it's pretty fascinating. And to find it, we've actually got to go back in time, way back, to a world that had no money at all.
Okay, so picture this, a world where every single time you want to buy something, it's a huge, complicated negotiation. Sounds exhausting, right? Well, that was the reality. It was called the barter system, and it was basically our very first economy.
So in a barter economy, it's pretty simple on the surface. You trade what you've got directly for what you need. Let's say you're a baker and you need a new pair of shoes. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find a shoemaker who just so happens to be craving some bread right now. Seems easy enough, maybe? But as you're about to see, this whole system has a massive, massive flaw.
And here it is, the central problem of barter. Let's say you've got sheep and you really want some sugar. So you find a guy who has sugar. But, plot twist, he doesn't want your sheep. He wants rice. This incredibly frustrating situation has a fancy name from economists, the lack of double coincidence of wants. It's a mouthful, but it just means that you have to find someone who not only has what you want, but who also wants what you have. It's a total logistical nightmare, just unbelievably inefficient. Oh, and trust me, that's just scratching the surface of the problems. I mean, think about it. How do you get change for a live cow? What if you only want something that's worth half a cow? And how do you even set a price? Is a horse worth 5 sheep or 10? Who decides? And get this, what if your money, your wealth, is something like rice or fish? It can spoil. Your savings could literally rot away. So yeah, you can see pretty quickly why barter just couldn't keep up as society got more complex. So, faced with all these massive problems, humanity needed a solution. And what we came up with was one of the most powerful inventions in history: money. Now, this didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, gradual evolution over thousands of years, an idea that would completely change civilization as we know it. The story of money is pretty cool. Early on, we used things that everyone kind of agreed were valuable, like cattle. From there, we moved on to commodities, things like salt, shells, even rice. But then we got a little smarter and started using durable metals like gold and silver. Why? Well, they were way easier to carry and divide up. This eventually led to the invention of paper money. And of course, that brings us all the way to today with the digital money that just zips around in our bank accounts. So these first forms of money had what's called intrinsic value. That's just a fancy way of saying the object itself was actually useful. Take a bag of salt, for example. You could use it as currency to trade for something, sure, but you could also just, take it home and use the salt to preserve your food. The value was baked right into the item itself. But the money we use today, it's a whole different ballgame. It's called fiat money, and honestly, it's kind of like magic. A $20 bill is just a piece of paper, right? It has zero intrinsic value. You can't eat it, you can't build with it. So where does its power come from? Well, 2 things really. One, the government says it's legal tender. But the second, and this is the big one, is our shared belief. We all just collectively agree to accept it as payment. Its entire value is built on nothing more than trust. So if money can literally be anything from a cow to a seashell to a piece of paper, what actually makes something good at being money? What are the key ingredients? Well, as it turns out, economists have figured out a few key things. Okay, for something to really work as money, it needs to check a few boxes. For one, it has to be pretty durable and portable. You've got to be able to carry it around without it falling apart. It also has to be divisible, so you can break it down into smaller units, like dollars and cents. And this one's huge. It has to be uniform. Every dollar bill has to be the same as every other dollar bill. And of course, the most important rule of all, pretty much everybody has to agree to accept it. But it's not just about what money is, it's about what it does. Beyond all those features, anything we call money has to perform 3 absolutely essential jobs. You can almost think of them as money's 3 superpowers. And these superpowers are what make our entire modern economy possible. So what are these superpowers? Well, they are being a medium of exchange, a unit of account, and a store of value. Now, I know those might sound a little technical, so let's break down what each one of them really means. First up, and this is arguably the most important job of all, money is a medium of exchange. What does that mean? It means it directly solves that double coincidence of wants headache we talked about. Remember our baker? He no longer needs to find a shoemaker who's hungry for bread. Now he can just sell his bread to anyone for money and then take that money and buy shoes from any shoemaker he wants. It completely unlocks the economy.
All right, on to money's second superpower. It acts as a unit of account.
Basically, money gives us a universal language for value. It's like a yardstick for everything. Instead of having these crazy conversations about how a car's worth, 500 sheep or 10,000 loaves of bread, we can just say it's worth $20,000. Bam, simple. It lets us compare the value of anything and everything, easily and clearly. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, an incredibly important function. Money has to be a store of value. I love this one. Money is basically a time machine for your purchasing power. Remember how fish rot and grain spoils? Well, money doesn't. Or at least it's not supposed to, not in the same way. You can earn it today and spend it next month, next year, or even decades from now. This ability to move value through time is the very foundation of saving, of investing, of planning for the future.
So when we put this all together, after this whole journey, what's the big takeaway? What is money really at its core?
Well, the core idea is this. Money isn't really about gold or silver or even paper. It's a social technology. It's just an agreement, a shared belief system that's built entirely on trust. And it's that trust that allows billions of us to trade and cooperate with each other every single day. And that, of course, leads to one final thought. We've gone from cows to coins to computer code. As our technology and our society keep changing, you can bet the form of our money is gonna change too. So the real question isn't just what money is, it's what will it become next?